the General Secretary of Tibetan National Congress, New York, New Jersey. It's been one of the greatest privilege and honor of my life to work along our chapter president Paul Logarangten. I first joined TNC because he personally asked me to, because he believed fiercely that the youth must take the lead in the struggle for independence. With his deep devotion to His Holiness the Dalai Lama,
Good evening. My name is Sonam Children, and Paul Logarangten was my uncle. His name was Lobsang Palden, but we know, loved, and remember him as Logarangten. He was born in Zakok Tihor Kham in occupied Tibet. After escaping into exile, he dedicated his life to the cause of Tibet. He organized protests, led marches, walks, educational sessions and car rallies, and knocked on the doors of those in power, lobbied elected officials, mobilized our community, and never stopped fighting for Tibet's independence. For my uncle, Tibet was not a cause, it was his life's purpose. He lived for Tibet every single day, and in the end, he gave his life for Tibet. On July 2nd, my uncle walked to the United Nations dressed in traditional Tibetan clothing and carrying a Tibetan national flag. He planted that flag firmly and raised the words, "Free Tibet" and "China out of Tibet," even when his body was engulfed in flames. Through his final act, my uncle awakened something powerful. He reminded Tibetans everywhere that we share one homeland, one history, and one responsibility. And his message to the Chinese government was clear, that we have not forgotten who we are or our land.
Logarangten's final testimony and appeal before his ultimate sacrifice. This is translated in English. Quote, "What I want to say is that Communist China's policies and activities in Tibet are targeted at completely destroying the Tibetan people. I have nothing to say towards the Tibetan people inside Tibet. They have been working sincerely to preserve our spoken language, religion, and culture, and revive all that has declined. Their efforts are very noteworthy. Therefore, I want to thank them. I don't have anything else to say to them. But I want to share my opinion to those of us in exile. If we don't do anything for the struggle of our people, we'll get nothing. I want to say that those of us in exile, we need to work harder. We are very grateful to His Holiness the Dalai Lama for giving us democracy, which he handed to us without us having to make any effort. Even though we said that we do not want it, His Holiness the Dalai Lama granted us standard-worthy democracy. His Holiness's gift of democracy is not for us to have internal disunity, but to continue the struggle of the Tibetan people and Tibet as a nation in the hope that there will be advancement. In particular, His Holiness has said in the past that those of us living in exile.
Tonight I join you with a heavy heart as we honor the life. I wanted to make sure that I'm honoring his name by pronouncing it correctly, so feel free to correct me. Paul Lopga Rangzanan? Okay, I did it correctly. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel coming here and seeing so many people honoring his sacrifice today. It tugs at your heart because it makes you think of the life that he led, the life that you had to leave behind, and the life that many people of Tibet are still living. I was asked to chant something, and I want you to follow me when I say it. Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! You come to this country in search of opportunity and that freedom that was denied to you in the country that you were born in, and we are going to call it a country no matter what China tries to do or say. That is his sacrifice, that was his ask, and that is how we are going to treat you. I represent Elmhurst, where he called it home, where he worked, where he fought, and we are going to miss him in our neighborhood. And the only thing I ask of you today is to continue to do this. Show up for the people of Tibet. Show up for him. Show up for fighting for a free Tibet. Thank you for the honor of being a part of this beautiful demonstration of love toward his sacrifice and to the country that called you Tibetan. You will always be Tibetan. Thank you. May he rest in the peace that was denied to him in the country where he was born. Thank you. Thank you. Free Tibet.
It's been a really difficult time for me because Lopka, he had many friends in the Tibetan community, but he and I politically, for the sake of Tibetan independence, for activism, we were best buddies. Nearly every day he would come and he'd have some idea, sometimes a mad idea, sometimes a good one. So I mean, it's really hard for me to say very much. You know, the day that he passed away, I get this call from Dikila and the police want to see me. They're saying, who's in charge? And I'm the founder of the Tibetan National Congress. He's the president. So naturally, these two detectives, we go to the morgue at Bellevue and they want to know what happened. And I said, officers, I want you to understand that this was not a deranged person. This was not someone who was intoxicated. This was someone who was making a political statement, a statement for Tibetan independence. And I said the same way we call our organization the Tibetan National Congress is taken from the American National Congress that declared America's independence and the independence of so many other countries in the world that happened after that. So I don't want to talk too much about his life and things, but I just want to say, essentially I'm a writer, so you can check out I've written a number of articles on him. It's on Shadow Tibet, the blog post that I have, and you can go there, but I just want to read, I don't have the words for it, but there's a great Tibetan poet, a young woman living in Australia at the moment, but she was from Amdo, from the Tsana grasslands of Amdo. Her name was Sungshuki. And when all these self-immolations took place inside Tibet, decades ago, and over 168 people had died, she wrote this poem called I Will Burn Myself Again and Again. This is Sungshuki. It goes like this. Are my grasslands still green? Are my blue lakes still crystal clear? Do my hills and streams still sing their melodious songs? Great gods of Tibet, do you still see them in your vision? Can all the bloody crimes of the world be burned and transformed by the heat of fire? Who is sucking the blood and marrow from my body? Who is erasing the bloody images on my chest? Who dug up and desecrated my father's grave before my very eyes? Who cut the life force from a mother's tongue? How can I accept and tolerate all this? The body of flesh cannot be lifted by the mind. The pain of the wounded heart cannot be endured anymore. Yesterday, the ancestral land of my dream, destroyed by an army of bandits. Today, my precious mother made shamefully naked before my eyes. Tomorrow, my children's brains and bones savagely scattered about. I cannot submit to this anymore. From now on, aim the bullets of the many thousand guns only at me. Inflict all the most painful beatings and tortures only on me. Furthermore, direct all your persecution and tyranny only on me. I offer you the full measure of my life forever, and I assume full responsibility for this commitment. From today, please treasure the custom and heritage of my lineage.
Our friends from Tibet, I will have to acknowledge that it is very difficult to come to this stage and to come up with any words to share with you. Because if it is a protest, we could rally to the Chinese embassy, we could change, we could see like what CCP down. But the context of this rally is just too heavy. With a dear Tibetan community member engaging in self-immolation, even I myself, I think it takes time to process. And I can't even imagine like, what is the most appropriate word to show support, to walk alongside with our Tibetan friends. I think that's my biggest concern. I think like my presence today is not to like rally for any action, because I feel like I'm in no position to do that, because like, each of you being here today, being present at the Times Square, waving your flag, chanting Pawo Lukao, Ransal's name, is already exemplifying the spirit of our dear friend who want all of us to continue the fight until the day CCP is down, until the day Tibet is free. I remember the day when our dear friend engaged in self-immolation. I was actually technically about to schedule an interview to talk to one of the Tibetan community members, to ask them, to learn from them how the Tibetan community in exile can be that resilient, and in what way the Hong Kongers could learn from you, could learn how to build an institution, could recover from exile, to grieve, to process the sense of loss, to process our political violence, the political trauma, so we recover from being pushed out from our hometown, from being disconnected, being cut off from our family members, to being able to adapt to a new host country, unfamiliar with the culture, the language, the system, the institution, and still able to rebuild a community from afar. Now that we could enjoy our freedom in the US, but also to fight for our friends, our colleagues back in jail, behind bar, so that one day we can reunite. And I can't imagine when the moment we were about to engage in a call, I was notified the incident happened.
A moment before, I realized personally with the group I came from Washington, D.C. in a chartered bus. We all know how long it takes for us. You want to know how long it took us? About 5 hours. This is how Tibet problem is difficult. I have never experienced it in my life. This says a lot about the struggle that we are facing in this terrible act. We have to be extra strong, extra strong. Now, I only a few words before I introduce the young kids who will decide the beautiful names of the 160 or 70 who have given their life for Tibet. Starting with New Delhi, the first self-immolation, we all know, following a demonstration organized by the Japan Youth Congress, Bao Todeng who became the first one who gave his life. Then in a decade's time, things blew up in Tibet, starting with Tabela and onwards, how many people have given their lives. And also followed in India and Nepal, at least about a dozen. Luckily, some of them still alive. Some are even nowhere in Tibet.
Happy to join our community here. Thank you so much for the Tibetan National Congress and New Yorkers who are coming here to make sure that we're here to not ever forget the sacrifice of martyr Logba Rangzin, our neighbor here in New York. I am so proud as an assembly member in Western Queens to represent Woodside, Jackson Heights, Elmhurst, one of the largest Tibetan communities here in the state of New York. And in our community, we know that we must fight for a free Tibet. Here in Queens and across our 5 boroughs, we know that human rights must be universal. We know that no matter where we live in this earth, that human rights are rights for everyone, and we cannot forget that. So, we must not forget that just because of our martyr here and all the others who self-immolate, the 171, that everyone who has fought for not forgetting and fighting for Tibetan culture, Tibetan identity, Tibetan language will not just be not ever forgotten, but we lift up the torch and the fight and we continue it here in New York, here in the city, the state of New York, and all over the world. So I am proud to always stand with you, not just in remembrance and commemoration, but we know that we must make sure we prioritize here in Times Square, here in New York City, here in the United States of America, that we know, our neighbors know, that we must have a free Tibet in our lifetime. So let's come together. I'm so proud to join you. Thank you, Tibetan National Congress, and long live our martyr, Logba Rangzin. Thank you so much. Happy to join.
Thank you so much, Assembly Member Stephen Roger. Our next speaker carries forward a deep family legacy for Tibetan freedom, son of Dasa Rinpoche and nephew of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and a dear friend of Paul Logba Rangzin, and have walked many times for Tibet, Mr. Kungka Nupala.
Good speech, but I'm going to start this right now, all right? All right. Dechi Dele. My name is Kungka Norbu, and I'm the son of the late Daksa Rinpoche, the elder brother of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. As you may have heard, my father started the march for the Rangzin movement once he retired from his day job as a professor at Indiana University. Yet, they never allowed their differing political approach to divide them. They respected and trusted each other. they stood together unwavering in their commitment to Tibet. They shared a common vision to work for the happiness and well-being of the Tibetan people. The torch of this moment was passed on and carried forward by my late younger brother, Jigme Norbu. After his passing during the Rongzhen March in 2011 in Florida, I joined my nephews, Jigme La's son, to carry on the legacy of the Rongzhen March that same year. From the point on, I engaged in several other walks for the Rongzhen movement. In 2013, I walked with Lobsang Rongzhen from Washington, D.C. to New York City, and we walked together on few other marches for Rongzhen. I came to know my friend Lobsang well during these walks, and we became friends. I was invited to his apartment in New York City, and we spent nights together talking. Through these personal connections, as usual, we engaged in conversation about Tibet and the Rongzhen movement. Although I deeply admire his sacrifices for the Rongzhen movement in Tibet, this time it still breaks my heart badly. Without much emotional outburst, I'm here.
Samala trashi dela. Nyara tanjam suzawayo aninda poka thone jamna inji thone jamna ta poka jamna ngjira. Ani ngama takserum boche shelo shigo gapje kwasanglo takserum boche Indiana ni and Birmingham Indiana wat kumdo thang tangbo na sha ani shigo gapje kolngalo Washington DC ni New York takserum boche shi kumdo na sha ani ti jila Jigme Norbu kumdo ji ani takani Florida ni tondo yongji ganga Norbu unta mantanta shi kumdo na re Odi katila ni tong chiksam golo logaram tan Norbu ganga Norbu tanga su nyamdo yangi te zango na utre jinga su Washington DC ni zaka New York shi kumdo ni map chatham bira na re takso de zaka mahasya kame tuso thala re ani ngoso chama in zaka choka sam zaka doctor cheater ani chinna chinyam dignyam ending rago ramchan sonare gama sonare chama in zaka ka ja khornarago doctor cheater en rago kaptik ja chagjo in zaka ngi nyang kong re tani mama chama lam bok shiga yo
Senior advisor on Tibetan issue.
Tashi Delek. My name is Ryan Furesi. Yeah, I think it should work. I'm the executive director of the International Campaign for Tibet. It's an honor to be here with all of you. Thank you. Sorry, I'm too tall. To the family members of Lobgala, members and supporters of the Tibetan community, and all who have gathered here tonight, we come together in grief. On July 2nd, in front of the United Nations, Lobga Rongzhen self-immolated and tragically passed shortly thereafter. He was a native of Kardza, a devoted monk, and above all, he was a son of Tibet. He came to the United States in 2006 and spent nearly 20 years engaged in selfless activism
to stand against the Chinese Communist Party's brutalities. He understood something many of the governments refused to acknowledge. When the world remains silent in the face of oppression, its courageous individuals who bear the burden of defending the freedom. Lobga Rangsan's final act was a powerful plea to humanity to recognize and confront the Chinese Communist Party's systematic destruction of Tibetan people, culture, religion, and their fundamental rights. As an Uyghur woman, I recognize Beijing's strategy all too well. What it has done to the Uyghurs, it has done to the Tibetan people, systematically erasing identity, criminalizing their faith, and destroying the foundations of
Paul Lobga Rangzan was a beautiful person, kind, dedicated, totally determined. When I saw footage of his self-immolation posted online, I could not believe my eyes. Like so many of you, I felt so many emotions all at once: shock, horror, sadness, frustration, anger. For those who knew him best, who worked alongside him day after day, month after month in New York and beyond, I know these last weeks have been an overwhelming roller coaster of emotions. Our compatriots in this struggle are the ones who understand us best, both our motivation, our hope, our sadness, our deepest frustrations. Every time they take action and they show up, they give us the encouragement to keep showing up too. Paul Lobga Rangzan was always taking action, always showing up. His absence will be felt by you most acutely. And to his friends, his family, and to the community here in New York City who knew him so well, on behalf of Tibet Action, me, my family, my husband, and my 3 boys are here, I offer my deepest condolences. It's hard for people, most people, to understand even a single act of self-immolation. It's nearly impossible to understand.
Thank you, Ladila. Please welcome Enhibatu Tohukok, a lifelong advocate for rights of Southern Mongolian people and the Executive Director of Southern Mongolian Human Rights Information Center. For decades, he has documented human rights abuses, led international efforts to defend the language, culture, and identity of Southern Mongolian in the face of escalating assimilation. Please welcome Batu.
Jestili Sembechano Sembeno. My name is Ingbat Torjik. I'm a Mongolian from Southern Mongolia. Southern Mongolia is always known as Inner Mongolia. It's another occupied nation under the Chinese colonial regime. We gather here today with very heavy hearts to honor the life and sacrifice of our dear friend Lobga Rangzan. I had the privilege of knowing Lobga for many years. We stood together at a number of protests, demonstrations, conferences, and human rights events, raising our voices for Tibet, Southern Mongolia, East Turkestan, and an all oppressed peoples. He is a man of unwavering courage, compassion, and conviction. Like many of you,
A month ago, Paul Lobga Rangzan gave the ultimate sacrifice for Tibet, his precious life. Today, we all know Paul Rangzan was a tireless advocate for Tibetan independence.
And we remember him today. We also remember the message he left us. He called on Tibetans to stand in unity, to do what each of us can, in whatever way we can, for Tibet. That message feels even more urgent today. As we all know, the Chinese Communist Party has now put into law the systematic oppression that Tibetans have experienced for decades. Through the so-called genocidal Ethnic Unity and Progress Law, the CCP seeks to accelerate efforts to dismantle Tibetan identity by targeting our language, our culture, and the values that have sustained our people for generations. A people, a nation cannot survive if they are separated from their language, their history, and who they are. And the Chinese Communist Party knows this. Tibetans inside Tibet have long felt the weight of this urgency and have sounded the alarm time and time again. In the past few decades alone, there have been over 170 Tibetans who have resorted to self-immolation in desperate protest, each seeking to draw the world's attention to Tibet and to galvanize global action. Our response, therefore, must be unity. We must strengthen our communities, protect our language, preserve our culture, and ensure that the next generation grows up knowing what it means to be Tibetan.
Look at all of you. All of my brothers and sisters out here. Tashidale, Tashidale, Tashidale. You know, this is a kind of a strange place to be talking about these things, isn't it? But why not? Right in the middle of the kind of the beating heart of New York, of America, within the kind of entertainment of the world, to be talking about something really important. And not just for Tibetans, for everyone. I'm really, really honored to be here with you tonight. And what this means, I mean, it's honoring this extraordinary man. What he has accomplished here in bringing us together is something truly extraordinary. We're here to honor this man, who I don't remember ever meeting. And probably many of us here didn't meet him, have the privilege, the honor of meeting him, yet whose message now asks something of every one of us, to stand together, this sense of unity, that in unity we can accomplish anything. We know that. Every one of us can stand together for Tibet and be a voice, most importantly, for those inside Tibet. We are there serving them, and I don't think we can ever forget that. This extraordinary man, Labge Ranzen, who I don't think anyone's going to forget this name. And for good reason. He's inspired us all. How moved I was.
From Mayor Mamdani's office. Congresswoman AOC couldn't be here but sends regards. And we have a statement also from Sophie Richardson from the Chinese defend us, and we will post that on our social media. My name is Jigme, and I serve as the president of the Tibetan National Congress. Paul Logarangze was the president of the Tibetan National Congress chapter of New York, New Jersey. And I want to start by appreciating the young organizers of the Tibetan Youth Congress, New York, New Jersey, for organizing this vigil, for getting support from 7 different organizations across New York, and making sure that Tibet's voice is heard from the loudest and the busiest pedestrian crossing in the world.
Thank you.